But this one, I do all right. I want to look at this one because it's highlighting a big problem, and also it may highlight why having an alternative is a good thing to have. It's why to maybe like help foster. Okay, look at the way YouTube is going, and we need to be looking at alternatives, kind of like how we are seeing the problems with Twitch, and it created the demand for a good alternative, and we have found that demand answered in Kick and in Rumble. So I think it's good to talk about this because it's good to give this problem oxygen in order for more people to realize what's going on, to get more people to realize, hey, maybe it's a good idea for me to start posting on Rumble. Or as a viewer, maybe it's a good idea to go check out Rumble for my favorite creator and give them the views over there so that platform can build and grow and can potentially be a realistic competitor against YouTube. So that's why I want to actually look at this video so we can actually see in detail just what YouTube is doing to content creators right now.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So this is going to be one of those videos where I'm going to be going over some serious problems going on with YouTube as a platform, including some issues that are having a profoundly negative impact on a lot of channels right now. And as always in these situations, I'm going to do the best thing I can do, and that is help spread the message about what's going on. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of this. And you guys can help spread the message of this video by extending its reach in the algorithm by doing the usual stuff, including liking the video, dropping a comment, subbing, all of that stuff. And also you can spread the message the old-fashioned way by spreading around the link and all of those things. So what's going on here? Well, over the past couple of weeks, dozens of channels have been unfairly demonetized. Now, when I say demonetized, I don't mean just some of their videos. I mean their entire channel has lost its monetization, which of course has led to many people losing their entire livelihood over.
Yeah, like Nux was one of them. I believe I believe this problem has been corrected, but for at least I think it was a couple of weeks, Nux's channel was completely demonetized. He was receiving no monetization from his YouTube channels, and he still kept posting the same as he did every single day, multiple videos on one channel, longer form videos on his one channel, and he still kept posting every single day. He maintained his posting schedule, and he's not getting any money for it. Basically, he's got his Patreon up for people to basically donate to basically facilitate like donation to him. Since YouTube's not paid him out, like he's flat out admitted, I've got a Patreon. There's literally nothing on the Patreon. Its only purpose is to basically, if you want to support me in what I'm doing, you can donate to me on Patreon, and that's it. But like, this is nuts. This is a guy that supposedly has the in with YouTube. He's the one that people always either go to or say you should go to if you're having a problem with YouTube. And he's getting demonetized for weeks. Now, I think the issue has been resolved. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think his monetization issue has finally been resolved. But it was like 2 fucking weeks that he was completely demonetized and putting up videos that he will probably never really see money for. We saw it with Kitsu, where Kitsu was she was demonetized, and with her Google AdSense, granted Google AdSense is lateral to YouTube, but it's the same fucking parent company, where she was not making money on any of her YouTube stuff for it was like a month and a half or 2 months. And now we're seeing more and more people that are posting on Twitter saying, okay, YouTube has completely demonetized my channel for fucking reasons, for the quote unquote inauthentic content. And it's like, this is getting out of control. It really is.
Livelihood overnight. And all of the channels we're talking about today have lost their monetization.
By the way, sorry, Ruff. By the way, this is why if someday my YouTube channel is able to hit 100,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, I will put in for a plaque. If I actually hit that, like currently right now, I am sitting at present, I'm sitting at 40,000, almost 41,000 subscribers. If I'm able to hit that 100,000 subscriber mark, which is like that you can like put in to get a plaque from YouTube, I won't do it. I absolutely will not do it. Why? Because I don't trust YouTube. It's the reason why I don't why I've never monetized my YouTube channel. And it's why I don't think I will ever monetize my YouTube channel, because I don't trust this company. I don't trust them not to fuck me over and just completely and just screw me. Because it's still burned into my brain that the video that MXR put out several years ago. They put out a video where Jeannie was talking about how when she hit her 100,000 subscriber mark for her own person channel for Potastic Panda, or Potastic P, whatever she called the channel, she submitted for a 100,000 subscriber plaque. You know what happened when she did that? YouTube nuked her channel. When Jeannie put in for her 100,000 subscriber plaque, they completely killed her entire channel. Gone. Snap of a finger, they took it out. And that right there, like basically what YouTube did to NXR is why I made the conscious decision when I first created my YouTube channel that I will not monetize it, that I will strictly use it as an advertising platform for my stream. That is one of the key deciding factors years ago that made me go, yeah, if I ever start a YouTube channel, I'm not going to monetize it because I don't trust the company not to fuck me in the ass without even the benefit of lube.
Overnight. And all of the channels we're talking about today have lost their monetization for the same exact reason. Inauthentic content. To put it simply,
Yeah.
YouTube is looking at these channels and telling them, we're not going to monetize you because
And NXR, he said MXR was one of the first ones to go down. NXR was the canary in the coal mine. Okay, they were the ones, like, people that were paying attention when they saw the way YouTube was treating NXR. They realized they saw the writing on the wall of where the platform was going. They like that. It like their channel was the inception of the downturn of the entire platform. Anybody that was looking could see it. Like this is a sign. First, what they did to Jeannie's channel, and then what they did to the MXR channel itself. You could see it immediately.
YouTube is looking at these channels and telling them, we're not going to monetize you because your content to us is so auto-generated and devoid of human involvement. You're basically an auto-generated slop mill that we do not want to place ads on, or at least give you credit for, okay? And if you just take a 2-second glance at these channels, you'll realize they are in fact authentic and run by humans.
Yes.
But all of these channels would appeal this decision, and every single one of them was rejected. Ironically enough, from the automated YouTube system.
Yep. And this is where it is. It's YouTube's AI went wild. YouTube basically has turned over the entire platform to their AI. And bearing in mind, AI that they rogue-grabbed. And if you don't think that YouTube's AI is slanted so that it will go after certain ideological or politically leaning channels way fucking harder than it will others, I'm sorry, you're blind. You're absolutely blind. This is basically AI saying that this is YouTube saying, we want a platform that is predominantly left-leaning. If you're right-leaning, we're going to program the AI to basically try and shit can that channel in any way you can, in any way they can. And right now they're going with the bent of inauthentic content. That is the current excuse that YouTube is using to basically attack any channel that is not strongly left-leaning at this point.
automated moderation system that looked at this and said, no, we're rejecting your appeal. And of course, YouTube, in its smugness, is still to this day claiming that these rejections of these appeals were done by human review, when in many cases it would be just downright impossible to have come to that conclusion. But this...
Yeah, because I guarantee you, every single channel that got hit by this, they submitted an appeal, and that appeal came back in 60 seconds. There's no chance in hell that any human ever looked at that. Unless you have an actual rep at YouTube that you can directly contact, you are fucked. You are at the mercy of YouTube's brain dead, hallucinating, racist, istophobic, whatever the fuck you want to call it, AI that is going after specific ideologies and specific political bents on the platform.
Sort of shift towards AI moderation.
Calling him out on Twitter doesn't work all the time either.
Is prioritizing, especially under its latest CEO, who has made it very clear that when it comes to moderation of the platform, AI is going to be a big part of it. Now, some of that is necessity, right? It's a massive platform with infinite content. There has to be some sort of automation. But YouTube is trying to cut corners and cut costs, and they're basically allowing automation to take over everything involving moderation of their website, including determination of monetization and stuff like that. That's really impacting people. Now, the related rule was actually given an update, sort of, back in July of last year, where this whole authentic content requirement was specified. Now, of course, this sort of standard of authentic content didn't really change in 2025. They were just clarifying it, so nothing really changed. If you are someone just making content with any sort of human involvement, you're going to pass the bar on this requirement. In fact, in July, they would clarify that authentic content includes AI. Like, if AI is a part or even a major part of your content on YouTube, they will still consider it authentic if there's some human involvement. But in this case, with these channels we're talking about, not only are they being labeled inauthentic, these channels are clearly run by humans. Like, we don't have to get into the argument about how much AI is involved in these channels. A lot of these are just straight up regular channels, commentary channels, and they are very diverse in the type of stuff they cover, but they're all getting hit with the...
Yeah, you're bringing an excellent point. Yeah, like Sky Bros and all of the Sky Bros are at risk right now. Absolutely. All of them are potentially at risk because of their extensive use of AI. So, yes, they absolutely, like, that's a legit concern. Despite the fact that they are creating art, like they're using AI to create the art and then posting that art, I could see YouTube's AI looking at that and going, I'm going to call that inauthentic. Especially given how the majority of the Sky Bros, like, what their content is, like the way the content is presented, the topics that it covers, I could absolutely see the AI taking one look at it and going, thwack. Nope, no money for you. 100% I could see that. Yeah, Leaflet as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
The same exact reason for their channel demonetization. And here's some examples. The Broken Crown political podcast, hit with demonetization. A music channel, same thing. Here, a comic book channel, same thing.
Jeez.
Gaming channels hit with this. In fact, here's an interesting one where a live stream channel, who is not even active anymore, was hit with this same inauthentic content rule that demonetized that related channel. Now, the most recent example just happened right before recording this video, where the VTuber Sin also had their YouTube channel demonetized entirely. And Sin is someone who is on the Side Scrollers podcast.
Yeah, that's right. They did hit Don P. Bongwater, didn't they? Yeah, and I think his channel is still demonetized. So yeah, the Sky Bros are, like, all of you Sky Bros, you guys could be next. If they hit Don P. Bongwater with this, it's like they're coming. YouTube's coming for you. Make no mistake. And if you're not already starting to post to Rumble, you need to start immediately. Yeah, I thought I heard that Cindy got hit like midstream. I think side scrollers like he the side scrollers was mentioning that on their stream today. Is that yeah, they got hit like she got hit like right midstream too. She got the news that she was suddenly demonetized. It's getting fucking insane. And honestly, it's the best argument to make for going over to Rumble and start posting and streaming on Rumble. It's going to cause a lot of people to go that route. Like big creators have gone over there too. Like Asmongold's over there, Tectone's over there. It's so like you've got the big names to bring views to the platform. So it's honestly a good idea to start dual posting and dual streaming to both Rumble and YouTube right now. To basically get to expand your viewership. It's like it's getting absolutely insane. I bet they'll let the Chinese and Indian AI channels stay about it. Oh, absolutely they will. Absolutely they will. Of course they will. And you know what else they're going to allow to stay active? All of the AI slop channels that are literally assembly lining AI garbage videos that are literally just it's literally just an AI pumping out assembly line of slop. They let those stay, no problem. They actually want those. YouTube actually wants all of that 100% AI garbage assembly lined content because they can crank out a shit ton of it, and then and basically it's AI, so like there's probably no one collecting money on it, but YouTube's still gonna run ads on it, so YouTube's keeping the majority of the revenue from those ads. So yeah, that's the way YouTube's going. It's like they want it to be an AI slop platform along with basically hosting their whales. They still want to host their whales like Hassan, like Asmongold, like Mr. Beast, all of these like multi-million view per video channels. They absolutely want to keep those because they're making buku revenue from it, and they're also catering to the corporate media companies. They're catering to like the corporate news companies, basically posting. They're gonna probably try. They're gonna probably try and convince them to post more of their news broadcasts onto YouTube. In addition to their live broadcasts, and they're gonna make it sweetheart deals. So now to try and basically make YouTube the place to go to get your news instead of like doing like cable TV or satellite TV. Well, all you need is an internet connection or a mobile phone, and you can come to YouTube and you can get the news here, and then they'll be able to take part of that ad revenue from people just watching the news. That I think that's my feeling of where they're going with all of this. They're trying to basically muscle out the vast majority of private individualized content creators that people want to see so they can basically do AI slop and corporatize the fuck out of it. Yeah, local news already does that, but I think they want to try and push that even further. I think they want to with the corporate news agencies, with the mainstream media wires, they want to push that even further, and I think they want to turn YouTube into an actual like news channel, like a news platform, so people come to YouTube to get their news versus going on to TV. That's my suspicion. Absolutely. And I think that's the way they're going. And the best way to do that is to get rid of all the small channels, get rid of all the non-news channels, all the non-corporatized stuff. Get rid of them so they're not distracting users from gobbling up the corporate slop. So demonetize them so they're forced off the platform. So then they can turn YouTube into a complete corporate media and enterprise and platform. That's the way it feels like it's going right now. And Griffin Knight, thank you for the 15 gifted. Thank you so very much for that.
Makes appearances there, just like me and my wife do every 2 weeks. So this was a pretty shocking thing to see, because if you look at their content, it's just a regular commentary VTuber, right? Like they are a very real person using a VTuber model in this case, but there's absolutely no way a human being looks at this channel and thinks it is auto-generated slop with no human involvement. Like, it's completely ridiculous. Now, look at the response by YouTube, Team YouTube on Twitter.
Oh yeah, they hate VTubers.
Some appeals by Sin, trying to get a human to review this. Team YouTube says this: Thanks for sending this our way. Inauthentic content refers to mass-produced or repetitive content. This includes content that looks like it's made with a template with little to no variation across videos, or content that is easily replicable at scale. And you can see 0 likes on that because people are disgusted that content creators have to do this. Because,
and by the way, no further means for Senny to basically try and appeal this. A lot, you know, you guys are talking about like yell at YouTube on yell at Team YouTube on Twitter. This was their response. Not, can you DM us and we'll look into this. Nope, they just said, they just basically did their bullshit definition of what inauthentic content is. Nothing to actually help her. So she's basically fucked because she has no way of contacting YouTube. There's no means for Cindy to actually reach out and speak to a person on YouTube. This is this is why, like, we need to actually start putting in a law. Number one, YouTube needs to lose its Section 230 privileges. Okay? Congress needs to, like, the government needs to unilaterally revoke YouTube's Section 230 or Section 230 privileges. They should not possess it anymore because they are no longer functioning as a distributor. They've leapfrogged the fuck over those boundaries. They've completely, like, they've taken a rocket ship into space over those boundaries at this point. They need to revoke that so people can start suing YouTube. And yes, like, suing YouTube might be like get David versus Goliath kind of thing. But if you get enough content creators to come together for a class action that might actually see some headway, things might actually happen. Because that's why YouTube is doing this. Because they basically know they're effectively bulletproof right now. And that's why we're seeing all of these changes that are basically just dropping hammers on creators across the board. Because YouTube knows they're not going to suffer any consequences of it. They know they're not going to get sued. And if they do, they'll basically just bury the person that's trying to sue them with their pinky finger. If they can actually revoke the 230 privilege, the Section 230 from YouTube and expose them to being sued unilaterally in a court of law where YouTube can't bullshit their way out of it, then they might actually see some change. Now, is that going to happen? No, probably not. I'm a realist. No, chances are the government's probably not going to do that because YouTube is probably funding at least half of Congress as is. I have zero doubt that half of Congress is in Google's pocket, without question. So the alternative, you look for another platform that doesn't do this. You look for a better platform like Rumble that is not doing this. And you basically throw your support there to make Rumble a logistic competitor against YouTube. That's basically the alternative that we have got right now. Because this is the response that probably everybody's getting. Is like, hey, YouTube, you demonetized me for inauthentic content. I make all of my own content. Why am I I think you've screwed up, and they don't even say, well, DM us, we'll take a look at this. No, they just say, oh, we'll give you a definition of we'll just give you a definition of what we consider unauthentic content and help you no further. Go fuck yourself. Thanks for all the ad revenue you're making us, by the way, that you won't see a dime of. Because don't forget, every single one of these channels that has been demonetized, their videos are still running ads. YouTube still runs ads on every single video of these demonetized channels, which means YouTube is keeping 100% of the ad revenue. Just remember that.
This requirement for authentic content, the bar is so low, and the fact that very real channels have to fight to get their monetization back because of this.
Too bad we don't have someone willing to do a new platform that's beneficial to creators. Honestly, that's what Rumble is right now. That's what Rumble is. Rumble is a quote-unquote new platform that is going to actually be beneficial to creators. It is.
To fight to get their monetization back because of this rule is insane and very frustrating, to say the least. And what you just saw on Twitter there is unfortunately what content creators have to do in these situations. You can't
Yep.
rely on your contacts at YouTube. In fact, getting into contact with a human being at YouTube is virtually impossible. I don't even care
Yep.
who you are. You could have millions of subs. It still might be extremely hard for you to find an actual human being to look at your current product.
Rumble hasn't shown much though, especially given the sport of quartering. Here's the thing. With Rumble's situation with quartering, that one's a little bit complex because what happened with the quartering didn't involve Rumble. So the TLDR with quartering is the quartering went after the YouTube channel Kino Casino. And basically, while it is not yet proven, it is highly suspected that the quartering who has a contact at YouTube it is suspected, given the circumstantial evidence, that he may have reached out to his contact at YouTube to basically take down one or multiple channels of Kino Casinos. At the very least, they took down I think they took down Kino Clips, which is not actually even owned by Kino Casino. That channel is actually owned by their editor, and the editor is the one that makes all the money from it. Kino Casino doesn't make a dime from it. And I think the Kino Boys' personal channels. And basically the owner of Rumble, the CEO of Rumble, came out and basically said, they're not going to do anything because it has nothing to do with Rumble. It has all to do with YouTube. Rumble is basically just platforming the quartering. His whole thing about, I have a 5-year contract with, I'll be fine. I have a 5-year contract with Rumble. Well, Rumble said that's a flat out lie, that there is no such thing as a 5-year contract with any content creator. So it's like, it's a little complicated, but with Rumble is not directly involved in what the quartering did. It's 100% on YouTube. So I appreciate about it being the principle of the issue. I get that. I do. But I also look at it from a business perspective, where if Rumble basically dropped the hammer on the quartering for doing something to doing something off platform, it can potentially set a precedent that you may not want to fuck around with. Now, at the same time, it's like, this is, you could also make the argument that, especially with the quartering being being a paid partner on Rumble for at least like a year, kind of like the way Tecton is basically sponsored by Rumble. Rumble's basically paying him to broadcast exclusively on their platform. You could make the argument that he is kind of a representative of Rumble. So I appreciate the argument for it, but realistically speaking, the events in question had nothing to do with Rumble, other than the fact that the two channels involved stream on their channel. But the issue was on YouTube itself, which has nothing to do with Rumble in any way, shape or form. So it's like, it's not exactly clear cut, but I do understand from a business perspective why the CEO said, we're not getting in the middle of this bullshit. This is all happening on YouTube, and we're not going to get in the middle of it. From a business perspective, I could see why he would do that, because it's other than you as a sponsor channel threaten other creators, I have an issue with that. Except he's not threatening them on Rumble. He's not threatening to go after their Rumble channel. He threatened to go after their YouTube channel. That's where things get murky about how you think the CEO should or should not respond. It's very murky. I'm not going to flat out say that the CEO of Rumble was right or wrong in his response. I will say that, okay, I can see kind of from a business perspective why he responded the way he did, and I can also see from a human perspective of why he should have said something. I can see both parts of the argument. I don't have a good answer. I don't. This is, as the saying goes, this is above my pay grade. So I just don't know.
Problem. And in this case, You have layers of automation. So people do what they've done for years, and that is go on to Twitter and tag Team YouTube, their account there on Twitter, and hopefully try to work it out. I have had to do that multiple times, and that has
Same.
fixed a lot of issues for my channel over the years.
And it hasn't fixed a fucking thing for mine. Every problem I've had on YouTube, where I've had basically, where I've been either I've been predated or the AI hallucinated. Yeah, you're right. It worked once. One fucking time. One time saying something to YouTube address the problem. One out of probably about 4 or 5 issues. Every other one, they've said, nope, we found nothing wrong. You're fucked. Like the vast majority of them. It's, I don't know, Rev is maybe a more sizable creator than I am. Maybe that's why they actually did work with him. They don't give a fuck about me. And so, you know, for the average creator, yelling at YouTube of, hey, you guys are pulling shit on me, and you're basically striking my channel for some bullshit. You know, can we fix this? And almost practically every time I've tried to address it, YouTube said, nope, go fuck off. You're suspended for a week, and you're gonna be on probation for the next 3 months.
Because if you make enough of a fuss on Twitter, you might get lucky and they will reverse or fix whatever's going on with your channel.
9 times out of 10, they won't.
Twitter is very frustrating. And also, to put this out there, when it comes to Team YouTube on Twitter, like, try to give them some grace, try to be polite. It's much more helpful when you're being polite when contacting them, even if the answers are ridiculous, because they're dealing with a enormous amount of people trying to get into contact with them, because unfortunately, like I said, this is the best route for a lot of people.
And that should be a fucking clue. If this is the only method to get through to YouTube, then they should have recognized a long goddamn time ago that this is a shitty system. That the only way to get through to Team YouTube is to use another social media platform and tag them on it. That is an absolute dog shit system. It is completely content creator unfriendly. And a real company that actually cared about their business would have actually implemented something at this point of like some kind of a contact system. Like to be able to basically go on to the, as a creator, be able to make like fill out a form and actually send it off to YouTube and actually get someone to look at it. Hire more fucking people if that's what it takes, because guess what? Google's got the fucking money. The fact that literally using another social media platform as their means of contacting them for support is dog shit. Absolute dog shit. Yeah, and it shows YouTube does not give a fuck. They have become so huge and so bloated that they don't fucking care if you leave the platform as a creator. They don't care whatsoever. The only ones they care about are the ones, like I said, that are getting literal millions of views per video. Those are the only ones they give a fuck about.
So long as they have Google money, no other platform can compete.
But it's not, it is that. It is that. And by the way, Drew, thank you. I think you guys said earlier, if they're big content creators, if they're content creators like Asmongold, if Tectone, which Tectone has already largely moved his video content off the platform. He's streaming and predominantly video posting on Rumble now. If Asmongold fucked off of YouTube and posted exclusively to Rumble, you might actually see a change. Because him and Tectone moving over to Rumble, Tectone exclusively, Asmongold multi-streaming to it, that alone has started to give Rumble some traction. It started to give Rumble traction in the way Kick started getting traction over Twitch when content creators like Asmongold and Tectone started broadcasting to it. So we're already starting to see some movement. He uploads some videos to YouTube. He's still predominantly posting on Rumble, to my understanding. He said he's going to post like a couple videos to YouTube, but predominantly it's going to be on Rumble with a couple of offshoots onto YouTube. But if you get these big content creators to basically just 100% leave Twitch, go, I'm now going to be exclusively posting all of my videos on Rumble, you will see a massive change in the amount of people that go to that platform. And I think you'll also see an acceleration in the platform itself, making positive changes to it. If they're able to net like a Asmongold exclusively posting all of his videos to Rumble, that will light a fire under them to make improvements to the UI, to make improvements to their back end of their systems. And it may become, just like Kick became a viable competitor for Twitch, Rumble might actually start turning into a viable competitor for YouTube, and that might actually force some changes.
People. Now, let's look at the typical process here, because there are layers upon layers of automated moderation here. Let's look at this example here, right? This is one of the channels that was demonetized. You can see them reporting on Twitter saying their Broken Crown podcast was demonetized for inauthentic content. And they got a lot of attention on this post, to the point where eventually Team YouTube would respond and say, check your DM for an update. And eventually, the demonetization was upheld and the appeal was rejected. And not even working through Twitter was working at this point. But then you would see they would continue the effort and people would continue trying to fight on their behalf, trying to get YouTube to take yet another look. And they would clarify here too, ironically enough, that despite rejecting their appeal, the view count on the video didn't change, right? Nobody actually watched the video in question that was being appealed. Like, it just shows you how inauthentic this moderation system is.
Yep.
Which is extra frustrating because the appeal system, they say the appeals are held or reviewed by humans, which clearly they are not.
No,
but eventually
that's a fucking
enough
lie.
of a fuss was raised on Twitter to get this channel's monetization restored. But that's sad. It's sad this is what it takes. You have to literally go to Twitter and raise a significant level.
And look at what's happened. Look at what they said here. We will still be streaming going forward on Rumble and Kick in preparation for the next time this happens. They know it's going to happen again. They absolutely know it's happening again. And what are they doing? They're counting. They're counting on it happening again. So they're going on to other platforms in preparation for it. And you know what? More and more content creators are going to be doing this too. I've done it with my videos. When I caught my last suspension, I posted exclusively to Rumble, and then I posted my back catalog after my suspension was up. But you know what? I'm now post every day that I post my videos. I'm simultaneously posting to both YouTube and Rumble. Every fucking day now. I stopped for a while because when I started doing this a long time ago and then stopped because the Rumble videos were getting no traction. But now, with the way YouTube is doing, I have to do this because I don't trust YouTube. I don't trust that, basically, I don't trust fat activists brigading my channel. I don't trust East Indians brigading my channel. I don't trust the AI hallucinating and slapping the fuck out of me. I've got to be prepared. And so I'm dual posting to both YouTube and Rumble with every video that I put out. Because it is going to happen. Granted, all of this is demonetization, which I don't have to worry about. That's one of the things with me, is that all of this that's happening to these content creators is demonetization. I'm not monetized as is. Never been monetized. My videos are just for advertising purposes. So in this respect, I kind of my reason for using YouTube, I have in a roundabout way a leg up on all of these content creators that are getting slapped by YouTube, because YouTube can't slap me with demonetization because I'm already not monetized. So I am like a step ahead of these guys. No, that's probably a bad descriptor, but you see what I'm saying? It's like, this is, it's, I'm in a better position than these guys because of this.
Of fuss to get a simple problem fixed. If anybody looked at this situation, they would realize in seconds that this rule, whatever they were hit with inauthentic content, was completely unwarranted. Like a 3-second look at their channel, and that is the case with everyone we've looked at today. But the fact that this is all the steps you had to take, and there were so many big channels that were supporting this case in particular, like it took a lot of effort. We shouldn't have to get to this point. And there's some other things going on here that I thought was interesting. This channel was one of the many hit by this inauthentic content demonetization. And they pointed out in their analytics that the second they were deemed inauthentic, and you can see this is their analytics since the beginning of this year. So pretty regular, pretty consistent until they were deemed inauthentic. Then their views spiked up. And at that point, keep in mind, it's not that the channel and all the videos have no ads on them. There's still ads, by the way.
Exactly.
It's just that the revenue goes to YouTube. That's a very important thing to keep in mind, okay?
And another thing is that I've been hearing is that you have people making videos on YouTube that as soon as they're approved for the partner program that would allow them monetization, YouTube has either been demonetizing them for some bullshit reason, or they've been flat out nuking the channel the second they get monetized. Now, I don't know how widespread that is happening, but I have heard that it's happening. So basically, once YouTube has to pay them, all of a sudden it's like, oh, nope, we don't want to do that. Yeah, this is basically what, so in a nutshell, if you're not understanding what's going on here, basically, the moment that this channel was deemed inauthentic and demonetized, YouTube immediately pushed this video hard in the algorithm. Really fucking hard. The moment it got demonetized. They absolutely pushed it so we can get what is this, like 400 times the views it normally gets? But because they're demonetized, they got none of the money. But this massive spike, YouTube's collecting in 100% of the ad revenue that this video is achieving. 11K? This is more than 11K. This is 400K. They went from probably, I don't know, it's tough to say, but maybe like 10 or 20K, and then it skyrocketed to 400. Oh, 11, yes, this is a lot of fucking money. You were looking at the revenue. Sorry, I wasn't. Yeah, like, this is what that video earned, $11,000. And the content creator gets none of it. YouTube's keeping all that money. They can do more than paying the bills. They can live comfortably for the month. And YouTube just stole $11,000 from this creator. And guess what? Once the video falls off, they might reinstitute the monetization like they did with the other one, but they're never going to see this $11,000 because they can say, well, that happened during a time that you were demonetized, so you're not going to get this back. So all of that money, they'll never see it. Oh, it's 100% intentional. It's YouTube trying to basically beat down smaller content creators to get to the lead platform. That's exactly what they're doing. This is literally trying to get content creators to leave the platform so they can corporatize the fuck out of the content even further.
Like, YouTube is still profiting off of these channels they're deeming inauthentic. They're just making it so the channels themselves, the owners, can't get a cut of the revenue. And I find it very interesting that the second they're deemed inauthentic and all of the monetization and the benefits of it shifts to YouTube, all of a sudden, it starts performing really well in the algorithm.
Yeah.
Isn't that very interesting?
Yeah.
But of course, there's a lot going on here. As pointed out in this tweet, everything YouTube has been doing over the last year or two has been about maximizing profit for shareholders and paving the way for the Hollywood takeover of the platform.
It's almost like that's what I said. It's almost like that's exactly what I said. Great minds, right? Yep. This is the plan. This is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm saying. They're trying to push all of the small content creators off the platform so they can corporatize the fuck out of the content. Yeah. This is the plan.
They don't care about most of us. Most creators are more trouble than they're worth. And that is the brutal and honest truth. YouTube really hates pretty much probably 99% of your favorite content creators because they're more trouble than they're worth. YouTube wants to continue to pivot over towards a television live streaming slash subscription service. Like they want to be a version of Netflix or cable television.
Yes, they do.
Or all the above, right? They want to be friendly to the entertainment industry. They want Hollywood to think nicely of them and to want to work with them. That is their focus. You know, YouTube, their motto in the beginning was broadcast yourself. Like it was all about content creators. We know that's not the case anymore, okay? That has been a very dead motto for probably over a decade at this point, but it's becoming more apparent than ever. They want the automation. They want the little guys taken care of and out of the picture in some cases so they can make way for the entertainment industry and all of the bigger and more
and the news industry
profitable businesses, right? But It's a Gundam here would make a comment saying YouTube is going to get worse. They are replacing people with AI at an alarming rate after forcing them to train the AI. I have spent the last 4 years advocating for channels behind the scenes, wrongfully affected by a broken system, by bringing proof of issues to actual humans, but now I think it's over. I've lost privileges. I guess I challenged the system one too many times in my last act of defiance, trying to get Kino Casino unbanned, which is a whole nother can of worms that we've talked about on this channel. And someone says, wait, you had privileges, and Gundam says, according to them, when I got the boots. So, yeah, there's definitely some very unfortunate things going on, and the shift over to AI.
And I have to wonder if this is also true for what happened to Nux. I wonder if they also told Nux that he has, quote, lost privileges, which is why his channel was demonetized for 17 days. Sounds, yeah, this is them circling the wagons and paving the way for corporate entertainment to completely take over YouTube, and YouTube will become a corporate entertainment platform, not a content creation platform. That's what's going to happen.
Is going to be one that's going to continue to snowball and get more and more involved with this platform, and it's not looking great, guys. Like, there's no other way of putting it. It really doesn't look great. And for YouTube here on Twitter, posts like this saying your perspective is your best asset. That is their latest tweet from the YouTube creators account, and it's like, man, I don't think you guys want to hear our perspectives anymore. And this is just another reminder that things are completely turbulent on YouTube. And if you want to support creators like myself, you can do so directly through YouTube while we have all of these things in place, like monetization and the ability to even upload videos or live stream. And you can do everything from, you know, liking and subbing and all those things. And if you're really out of your mind, you can do things like super thanks messages and all that stuff and come to my live streams and all those things. But in terms of me for shilling, I mean, I will tell you the same thing I tell everyone else in terms of content creators. It is to diversify, try to have as many things going on as possible. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. And for me, my portion of this video, if you want to help out on my latest Boo Market plushie campaign, you can see the official Rev plushie right here. Look at that, 360 view.
Look at that,
good.
297% funded.
300%
Look at that
funding on this campaign with over 6 days left. I will put a link to this in the pinned comment. The support on campaigns like this is huge for channels like myself, and also I've been working on my Patreon this year. Again, Patreon isn't perfect either. They have plenty of issues, but again, it's about
That's true.
diversifying your sources when it comes to content creation. And I've been uploading Patreon exclusives over there, and I'll have a new one up either today or tomorrow. So if you want some extra content as well as another way to support the channel, again, I'll put a link to this page in the pinned comment. Be sure to check out these campaigns and anything else going on with the channel, or your favorite channels as well. The point of today's video was to spread the message about this so you guys are aware, and if you want some more advice from me, it's supporting the creators you like through the ways I just mentioned, but also helping them out on Twitter. If you're noticing these things going on with these accounts and they're spreading the message on Twitter, that is the best way to help. Unfortunately, helping them spread the message and being persistent about it is the best thing you can do in these situations. It's an uphill battle. It's tough, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do, and that is, unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, the best way of trying to come to some sort of a way to solve what's going on here, because clearly there's a lot of errors being made by YouTube's automated.
Oh, they're not errors. That did disprove rep. This is not errors. This is planned. This is intentional. It is 100% intentional. There's no error involved here. It's we are potentially seeing the beginning of the end of the indie content creators on this platform. I know he can't say that. I think Rev needs to start doing posting to Rumble too. I do. I legit think that Rev needs to seriously start posting his videos not only on YouTube but posting them to Rumble as well, and start building an audience on Rumble, because eventually the majority of small content creators like myself, like Rev, like every other VTuber, like the millions of small content creators on the YouTube platform, they're going to need to start looking at alternatives, because they are going to get forced out by YouTube within the next couple years. This plan is going to happen in the next few years. You will start seeing more and more and more small content. They're going to start the really small ones, and they're going to slowly start ramping it up to the slightly bigger ones, bigger ones, bigger ones, bigger ones. But they are going to start forcing people off the platform to make way for Hollywood and corporate media.
Moderation system. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. It's, at this point, the writing is kind of on the wall. I myself am still gonna continue posting on YouTube, but I'm gonna dual post. I am absolutely gonna dual post, and I'm looking ahead to the moment when, YouTube basically nukes my channel, because I do think that it is a distinct possibility that the way this is going, they can't demonetize me, but they can take out my channel, and I have to expect that it may happen in the next couple of years. So I'll do a post and try and be as best prepared for it as I can.